Do you think there is a way to teach any LGBT stuff without it being something that would be contradictory to what parents would want? Or do you think it's always...
Okay, at what age?
Hey, man, you get this hormone attack, you turn your down there, you have to think about your grandma just to control yourself. Well, maybe one day a guy touches you. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I found this podcast, PBD, and they were talking about homeschooling kids and why you should homeschool kids. And there seems to be manipulation happening at school with all the things that we have about the rainbows and everything. And certain people are like, yo, you need to be careful what you're teaching because you might confuse a kid. And maybe they would do something out of confusion.
Every community is like, well, there is influence for other kids to be exposed to heroin, and then kids are dying. The part that to me is very weird, when people make stupid things real, meaning,
what is a woman? What is a man?
2.2 is 4. Well, it could be 5. It could be this. No, you don't confuse my kid. It's only 4. There's only one answer to it, right? With what we want to do. Mm-hmm. You know, you may not be a boy. You may have a female. You may want to be a woman. And don't let your mom and dad convince you otherwise.
There's something like, and I'm like, yeah, what the heck is that? Who are you that you failed in your life and you try to educate a kid to, hey, you know what, maybe I failed, but I did something better. That's what the parents does for their own kid when they're born on a planet. I decide to make you, I'm trying to give you the best education, which I might have failed to. But the fact that people come out and be like, you know what, I know what's better for you. Like the government thinks I can know what's better for you, so take this and be chill. Why do you want to disconnect me from the most loving diamond in my life that came out of my pee-pee?
Yeah, don't put that in my 13-year-old kid's head. You're confusing the shit out of them. Don't do that. Yeah, I don't need you to do that to my kid. That's the areas that I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with, you know, hey, Dad, they said rich people are greedy. Okay, let's hash it out. Let's talk about it. Hey, Dad, they said, you know, black people are this, white people are that.
Yeah, let's talk. We need to talk. But you don't like how I talk. Because it's not your message.
This person is this. One of my classmates pregnant. We just had a case. I'm talking to one of my, in a Christian school, 13-year-old girl, had a kid, got an abortion. And the girls are talking about it at a Christian school.
Wow. In my high schools, I went to an all-boys school, but if you were in one of the all-girls schools, you got pregnant, they kicked you out of the school.
Well, but the point is like...
I was pointing the specific negative thing, and I can understand where he is coming from. But I find it rather weird that you can actually Google because you're not sure about your body because everybody can identify the way they want. And the fact that you Google it, the school can see everything you Google and then they separate you and they start teaching you things about those things. And then you are confused and they don't tell the parents. I'm like, yo, there's even document cases that they were giving therapy. The kids was going to the psychologist behind the parents' back. Because we're not allowed to tell them because it might be possible they're conservative. That freaking scares me.
They kept it amongst the girls.
Okay.
And it hasn't gone to the top to be able to, because this just happened. I don't know what's going to end up happening, but
sure,
they're being exposed to it. So these kids are kids that their parents have money. So guess what? Hey, you want to try ecstasy? You want to try coke? I'm not worried about that stuff. They're going to be exposed to it.
Yeah.
None of that stuff. I'm uncomfortable with manipulation. I'm uncomfortable with making the questioning of where a kid naturally should go to say, well, you know, maybe you are this, maybe you are that. That's my concern. Too early. Later on, it is what it is. You know, you do that too early, I have a challenge with that.
Yeah, I will love my kid for whatever decision he made. I'm not going to be like the old school Christian that sometimes kick their kids out of the house. I never understood that either. But the idea that we need to teach them at such an early age when they're impressionable, I find it unique that you think that is the proper way to handle it. Because if you don't, because you saw things in your life or maybe you had a bad experience, you are now suddenly the king of decision making, way better than the parents, as if I'm blinded in one eye. Yes, I miss one eye, but who are you to decide that with 2 eyes that you're not blind? It really frustrates me.
Once I went into the Army, Destiny, at 18 years old, you know what I saw? By that time, I'd seen everything. It wasn't like anything was new to me, okay? But I feel like some of the schooling right now with what they're teaching,
they start early.
Man.
That's the
reason why I took my kids out. And we thought about homeschooling for maybe half a second, and then we said, no, we're not going to be doing homeschooling.
Do you think there is a way to teach any LGBT stuff without it being something that would be contradictory to what parents would want? Or do you think it's always...
Okay, at what age?
Probably middle school, 6th, 7th grade.
No.
Oh my God. See that? Come on, bruh. The fact that your kid doesn't look very masculine, already they're gonna tell you you're comfortable, bada beam, bada boom. Hey man, miss me with that, you know? It's like, I don't know why they focus on such an early age talking about something as if they are confused about it, as if they know exactly what they want at that age, and when they're 18, that decision is never gonna change. This Destiny person, Destiny, he was a conservative. But hey, before he reaches 18, he changed his way of thinking. Now imagine he had to do something like a very gangster conservative when he was 6. He would definitely, I wish nobody told me that. But now you're advocating on the other side that, hey man, I think we can make a proper decision for you, kid, without telling the parents sometimes. I'm like, yikes, bruh. I'm like, And then when the parents complain, the parents have been labeled as a terrorist. Hey man, woo.
Too early.
Do you think that, so let me be more clear, there's a way to teach people about like gay people or bisexual people at that age, or do you think it's totally just impossible?
You know why though? Because, you know, like this goes back to a conversation I had with Gatsad years ago, 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, where one of my friends, you know, he straight his entire life. And then one of the things about gay converters, they're very good recruiters. Okay, so this one used to go to this club in Nashville. It was a gay club, great club. Okay, best club in town. It's called like a Studio 54 of Nashville, Tennessee. Sick, underground, awesome music. You know, energy was amazing. It's where you wanted to go if you're straight because it was an easier game to have. Now, everybody would ask me, hey, but David, I know where you go on the weekends. Can you tell me about this secret spot? I said, no, man, I can't take you. Let me trust you a little bit, then I take you. This one of my friends, I took him. We took him to the club, and this one guy who's aggressively gay, and he comes and asks the tough questions. He comes to one of my guys who's been straight his entire life, 19 years. And he says, so, you ever been with a man? No, I'm straight. He says, how do you know you're straight if you've never been with a man? He got stuck. So he didn't know what to say. I'm like, dude, answer back.
Yeah, I've been there. And you know what I said? I like feminine ladies. I don't want to feel hair on my face. I like their hair that I can play with. I love soft, small lips. I want to feel bigger as them. And I'm sure some guys will like, yeah, I can be a little feminine too. I'm like, nah, bro. I want that beautiful voice. I want breast. I think I'm attracted to those. And that's what I feel. I'm not going to experiment with something just so you feel comfortable. Especially in a society back then that once you did it, oh my God, you were labeled as gay. You're going to be anything different. And I'm like, yo, right now, even if you supposedly are gay, the fact that you go back to cis, they won't even allow you. No, you're bi. You tested before. You can never go back. That label will stay on you and it can mess up with your head. That insurance in your face is going to reflect how people will treat you. Nobody takes that in consideration. And guess what? You might feel lonely. Who's going to love you? The one that wants you. Well, guess what? You're gay again.
Because you're straight. He says, so we get in the car. It's a 45-minute drive back from Nashville, Tennessee to Clarksville. You know what he talked about the entire time? Maybe he's right.
How do I know?
Maybe I am.
Yeah.
I said, bro, what
do you think? Okay, I got a question.
Do you know what ends up happening with this guy?
Yeah, he kiss him.
He ends up.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
He ends up just to find out. And then he comes out. He says, well, I guess I'm not.
Not for me.
Are you out of your
Wait, I guess I'm not.
You needed to do that.
straight.
I'm glad the guy maybe did that in a very private way because they went to a club very hidden. But hey, sometimes it can affect you in such a way, you know, if you don't have buddies that can actually understand why you tried it and then you keep it in secret. Because I know a lot of people that explore that. But it's not something that everybody is open to explore on the outside. Because both aisles, either the right leaning or the left leaning, if they get that information in a bunch of anonymous people's hand, it can be very frustrating when it is a personal journey. And there's always a lot of opinion online or whatever that's gonna tell you, oh my God, you don't like us, as if you're singing Michael Jackson music. What about us? I'm like, dude.
To figure
He
that
was
out?
straight his entire life, but he thought
he ended up not what?
he ended up hooking up.
Yeah.
But is he gay now?
He's straight.
Yeah.
But he had that one moment
He had to test it out. Blah, 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 blah.
to kind of go through it for himself.
So,
let's say-
did Kevin tell you his story with Versace?
No.
So he goes
Oh yeah. He
the whole
parted it. Yeah,
Versace
yeah.
thing.
This lady, her husband, is the guy from Hercules with the long hair.
Yes.
So
But go ahead.
Versace kind of groomed him a little bit through parties and stuff,
Yeah.
and then eventually they end up at dinner together, and they're sitting.
This is your husband, by the way.
Yes, my
Okay.
husband back in his
And Gianni
modeling,
Versace in Miami.
back in his modeling days, and my husband hot. Okay,
Yeah.
and Johnny puts his hand under the table on Kevin's thigh, and Kevin says, "Johnny, all my life, no," and he says, "Kevin, in this life, you have to." And I don't swear. So F the cow and the sheep and the dog and the cat. You have to try everything. Similar to your gay converter.
Great recruiter,
That's
yeah.
bestiality, though, but okay.
It's a bit of a difference
Yeah.
there. But
The dog, the cat, the
don't
cow.
argue.
No, it's almost the same. It's almost the same. When I walk from the shirt, when I had my six-pack looking gangster in Spain, and I meet my wife's gay friend when I just arrived in Spain, amen. They look me up and down at such a way as if my boobs were popping out of my turtleneck. Amen. It was crazy. I've never felt like a piece of meat. And at that moment, I started to understand ladies. Amen. It's not fun when somebody wants to do something with you and you're like, hey man, I'm not gonna roll. But have you tried it before? Hey dude, I don't wanna know. You know, and you have to say it in such a way they feel offended. Like, why? It's just a question. I'm like, no, it's not just a question.
And the
I
man.
don't argue, but
Yeah.
that was his
So
language.
Kevin
right?
did. Kevin
And
hooked
he
up with
goes-
Versace.
And he goes,
What?
Kevin goes, Johnny, all my life, I've been on this road, and you're on this road. And Johnny goes, I built a bridge. No, it was not the best night of his life. No.
Well, what?
when I,
So
if
what
I-
do you
if I
mean?
think of-
What happened exactly?
Well, it sounds like they
Nothing.
didn't build the bridge.
Nothing. It was not the best night of Johnny's life, is what I meant to say.
Of Gianni. Well, they say that you build 1,000 bridges in your life. You fuck one goat, you're no longer a bridge builder. Now
That's-
you're a goat fucker.
See what I told you? It's just one time, and socially, you're kind of castrated. You know? And people don't take that in consideration that when you are cis and you jump the bridge, there is such a weird celebration. And if you don't go along with the celebration, amen, it's really hard to go back. Even if you manage, there is a stigma that are going to keep telling your wife every day when you go spend with your buddies.
So
Do
it
you
sounds
think-
like.
Do you think there's any worry that? So I understand your story of your friend, but like, let's say that was like one of the worst case scenarios. Like he hooked up with a guy. Okay. What about on the other side when you get these guys that are like 35 years old, they've got like 2 kids, their marriage is almost completely sexless, they're kind of miserable, and then they realize like, fuck, I'm gay. And then you've got these people that like have these whole lives that they're about to upend because they weren't even exposed to the idea. And now all of a sudden they finally realize when they're like 35, 36, they've already got like a family and they're like, fuck me, and then their whole lives fall apart.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think sometimes when a person, I had a call with a guy yesterday, this guy who runs a business, does $7 million a year, okay? And they just had a kid 10 months ago. And he says, my wife wants to have a divorce with me. I said, your wife wants to have a divorce with you? He said, yeah. So how long you guys been together? We've been together for 10 years. I said, 10 years? Yeah. Married 5 years. Okay. So I said, how often are you guys having sex right now? He's like, we're not.
That's a problem. If you don't funky, everything outside is gonna look way more whoo. You might not chill, no attention. Just a lady touches your hand in a nice soft way. Amen. Ooh, you get this hormone attack. You turn your down there. You have to think about your grandma just to control yourself. Well, maybe one day a guy touches you. And that accidental whoa, you're gonna be like, wait, but I'm cis. How did that happen? How did a soft hand do this to me? How did a strong hand do this to me? Momo.
I said, why not? We're just not. I said, how many times were you guys having sex when you first started dating? Oh, all the freaking time.
Mm-hmm.
I said, so have you gotten your testosterone checked down? What do you mean you're not having sex? I said, one of the best things in a relationship, you want to have your relationship work, you got to have sex twice a week, every week, and have a, dinner, Go have dinner together so you can kind of have that conversation
Hey man, plus 19 years together. Hey, that's how you have to do it. It's a consistent thing. If there's no bond, you will make bonds with anybody that comes along.
together. It's not healthy to not have sex together. If you have issues, you need to lose 40 pounds, lose your 40 pounds, move your body, get a train, increase your testosterone, but it's not good for you not to be having sex. Okay. When you're in that moment, you don't think that highly of yourself as a man. You're looking at anything that will accept you because you're no longer getting the attention. You could be confused to make a decision that's not healthy for you. Hence, maybe you're talking about the 35-year-old guy that thinks he's now gay
Do
after
you really
having
think
two
you can
kids.
just your sexuality is that fluid that you could be straight
I
and maybe
do.
you're a little
I
too
Yes.
Think, I think a lot of
I've been saying that a lot. I see it everywhere. That certain people are gay. But certain people are gay for lack of choice or lack of love. You are designed by your environment.
I think a lot of people, when they're down, they can be taken advantage of. Listen, what is the biggest mortgage?
converter guy
What
that
is
we
the
talked
biggest
about.
real estate product that they reverse mortgage? Who do they rip off the most and target
Old
the most?
people.
Yeah.
people.
Old people. Why? Because they're what? They're
Vulnerable.
easily
Impressionable.
taken advantage of. They're in a weak position. So to me, when somebody is in a moment like that in their marriage and their relationship with their down, they're very easy target. Very easy target.
Or when
and-
they're a child in school
That-
and the
that's- that-
authority is telling them
but
something.
by the way, let me say this to you. If he
Thank you, Mom.
chooses to do that, listen, man, you're 35 years old.
That's right.
Do what you got to do. I can't do nothing about you at that point at 35 years old. My biggest concern is my job is till 18. If I raise you and protect you and challenge you and help you become a leader by 18, after 18, you do what you want to do. It's going to hurt me, but you need to make the decision now. And kids are going to make some decisions that's going to hurt their parents. My mother never wanted me to join the U.S. Army. We left Iran so I wouldn't join the Iranian army. She went to Iran to go sell her house, sell her father's house. I called her from South Carolina. I never told her I joined the army. I called her and I said, hey, just want to call you. I got 30 seconds because I'm in boot camp. Just want to tell you I love you. I'm in South Carolina.
Yeah, kids disappoint their parents in many ways. It's not all about gender, but the fact that you focus only as that this is going to stop them from making bad decisions, you're strawmanning the whole conversation, man. Gender is not life. Life is just living in the moment.
I joined the army. What did you do? I joined the army. I got to go because the guy behind me is waiting. We got 75 people waiting to make a call. I got 30 seconds. Wait. Mom, I got to go. Click. Next. Okay? Kids are going to make some decisions that I'm not going to be happy about. The ones that I want to protect is any form of manipulation where a kid says, maybe he's right. Maybe he's this. Maybe he's that. That's my problem. You do that 35, do what you got to do.
Gotcha. Do you think, I'm just curious, do you think like all gay people are like manipulated to being gay, or do you think anybody can just like be gay, or?
I lean more towards upbringing. I lean more towards not a father figure. I lean more towards confusion. I lean more towards insecurities. I lean more towards somebody gave you attention that nobody else does. Say you're an ugly kid. You're not good looking. You're going to blossom later on in life. Some people that were 12, 13 years old were not good looking kids. They're going to be good looking at 30 years old. Some were very attractive, and then they're going to end up being fat. Life is a very weird dynamic on how it works. But if you're ugly and you're not the best looking kid and you're being bullied, and somebody from your own side who is gay, and let's just say they themselves are coming onto you and trying to tell you how amazing you are, maybe it's a form of getting love.
Yeah.
That's confusion to me. But that doesn't mean you're gay.
Yeah.
It just means somebody finally is giving you attention that you are looking for and you're seeking.
I mean, you saw that. He articulated it very well because I think a lot of people don't realize how lonely a person can be and how desperate they can try to find something consistent in their life that gives them a feeling. I know a lot of people that try to find that consistency so much, they started dressing like a woman. And when that didn't even work and they realized there was nothing they could do, it's actually their whole personality that doesn't work in this world, they jumped in front of a train. People are very flexible if they're not comfortable with themselves. They're not confident in reality, in that they're not confident in pushing through, being patient. Those can change you and make you do a specific decision, and it's like a snowball. And only certain people can just break it and be like, yo, I need to back off a little and be sure that grass is greener on the other side, because I think this grass is very freaking green, you know? Because I think you're messing up way more people, and by doing that, your whole ideology that you're fighting for to convince kids to teach them at 6, you're actually validating it more by confusing more people. Anyway, let me know if I'm crazy. Sorry for the long video, but I just saw this and I really wanted to bring it up, and I would like to know what is your freaking opinion. Okay? Have a nice day. Peace.